Hi guys, I'm here today with a build challenge. I was attempting to do the one colour build, which is where you get given one colour and you can only use items of that colour. Anything that's a mix of colours, it has to be predominantly the colour you were given. So I was given green by my brother, and I wanted to do a kind of try and do a modern build, but didn't quite work out that way. I wanted to, on the left, put a garage. And then I realised that the only garage doors came City Living, or at least the ones I've got access to, which are the mural doors, and I can't make both green. So yeah, right now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to roof it, roughly what kind of weird shape I'm going for. I normally do more traditional builds, so this was a bit of an experiment for me anyway. I've been a bit more grateful that EA had put in ladders that probably saved my backside a few times in this build, because I had no idea where to put stairs. Anyway, here I'm just editing the wall heights, trying to get it somewhat balanced, and my game lagged. I have a very laggy computer, so please bear with if it starts lagging. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what to do with the roofs. You can see I'm only trying to do one angled roof, I never use that roof design anyway, so it was a bit interesting. I wanted to do a mix of materials in the exterior, almost as if it was built in different parts, give it a bit of a quirky look. Not quite sure I achieved that, but again, I was also only limited to one colour, which green's probably one of the nicer colours to have been given. It wasn't easy. It's definitely harder than I thought it would be. So I'm just putting the trim round because we can't change ceiling colours. So the base of those parts of the house that were jutting out was white, because the ceiling's white, and that doesn't quite work. Here I'm trying to figure out what kind of door I want to go for. See, that door from Fitness Stuff was exactly the style I was thinking of, but when I zoom in, you can see it's not all green, so I couldn't use it. So I ended up compromising on this, which I'm not sure, actually looking back now, is green enough to be classed as full green. But it's too late now, honestly. I decided to make this into a bit of a porch area, do a bit of a green roof, because if you're going with a green theme, you might as well actually go with a green house in terms of eco-ness. That's not a word, it's a word. I can't think what the word is. Anyway, and then here I'm just trying to figure out roughly where I can put the ladders to go between floors. I'm still thinking of a kind of garage idea on that left-hand bottom side. So I want the ladders tucked out the way, but at the same time, the way that the house is built, almost out of line, it makes it quite hard to have just a ladder tucked away in a corner. And then again, I've got another. This one wasn't so bad. I could at least put it in the middle of the wall, but it wasn't. It wasn't fun. Multi-story is not my cup of tea. Started to go simple. Decided why not have an office up the top, just overlooking the opposite plot, which I don't really think that's pretty at the moment, at least until I've built up this world. But hey ho, nice big window. I'm using the windows from Spa Day because they're tinted. So whenever you see these huge windows that look almost blue, they are actually green. It's just Spa Day and it's a tinted glass. Here I'm just pulling out all kind of paintings and decorations that come under mostly green, to save me having to scroll through the section in the catalogue again and again and again, because honestly I hate doing it. It's hard enough trying to figure out how things go, let alone having that one item that you thought of, and then when you want to go look for it you can't find it anywhere. So I just make a bit of a mess on the wall and then work things out from there. As you can see, I'm doing a little 3-panel there, I'm quite fond of 3-panel designs, so don't be surprised if you see those cropping up a lot more on my builds. Then I decided no, nothing really worked on that wall. So these wall planters came with Eco Lifestyle, and I wasn't too sure of them to begin with, I'll be honest. But when you get told to make everything from green, they suddenly become rather useful. So yeah, then took that bookshelves from Parenthood. It fit in better. I preferred, in some respects, the almost filing cabinet one that I had originally from university that I pulled out, but that one fits in the space more. And then here I'm just trying to figure out decorations for... less decorations and more just clutter for a desk. Which, again, is not something I'm fantastic at, but I'm learning. This is one of the things I like about The Sims. If you make a mistake, you haven't spent like a couple of £100 to come home only to find that your stuff doesn't work with what you've currently got. At least with this you can try various different things until you've got what you want and then exit build mode and have everything depreciate in value. I've got this rug out because from the mini picture it originally looked like a spiral, and I got close up and I realised it looks like almost like ramen. So I don't want a rug made of essentially what looks like food in a study. So I had to change it. I was like, I don't know what to do with the middle floor, so I went down to the ground floor. Basically, I decided to go through debug again. So I used a cheat to unlock debug because I thought, oh, maybe I'm remembering a garage door from debug, because there's a whole host of different things in debug. Though I mucked up. I think I've mucked up the command slightly here. There we go. Yeah, I'd had it filtered as green so you don't find anything in debug for some reason. Yeah, and then I realised eventually that this garage door I thought was in debug. It was not in debug. So, a bit of a waste of my time. See, I just gave up on it. It's like, nope. Okay, what about trying stairs instead? I don't know if you know, but if you've got kids, pets, they can't use ladders. So I thought I might as well at least have one set of stairs. So if anyone actually for some reason wants to use this house and they happen to have kids or pets, they don't get stuck to the ground floor. And then I was like, no, I can't figure out how to do the stairwell. So instead I decided to go for the bathroom. I pulled out a couple of different shower types. And it took me a while to find one that was green enough yet modern enough to go with what I wanted to do. I'll admit I was a bit disappointed in the options for toilets. I feel like there should have been less neon. You see there kind of like this aqua, neon aqua, that's the colour. But toilet, I was like, no. And another thing I was disappointed in finding is you can't get green toilet roll. So I couldn't actually put a toilet roll holder in the bathroom, which just went against every single instinct. I'm so used to automatically toilet roll holder because it's the little details. And I realised that a lot of the little details in the bathroom just don't work when you're limited to one colour because they don't have it in that colour swatch. So yeah, that was a disappointment. I was working out what kind of lights, because of course you don't normally have a hanging light in the bathroom, or at least not over here. You have spotlights. So I was quite relieved to find that the normal spotlight I use does actually come in green. Then I had the joys of the window, because apparently, you see that I was a bit confused. I was like, the exterior is green, but the interior is white. How does that work? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But there was a bit more wood on the outside than the inside, so I figured it must count as green because there's slightly more on the outside. At least I'm hoping so. Let me know in the comments down below if that's actually the case. I want to put in a medicine cabinet, and of course the moment I'm looking for the medicine cabinet, can I find it? Oh. And then I decided I want to put a bit of a not quite facade, it's not the word, like one of those, you can see what I'm using there, I can't think what the word is for them. And then got myself in a muddle over it, but yeah. Oh, and I'm back to looking for that medicine cabinet again. Eventually found it apparently in Parenthood. But I also spend a lot of time, you'll notice, looking at the colour swatches. Because there's a lot of items that come under the green, but they're more aqua than green. And I've taken the liberty of assuming that the greeny blue colours that are more green than blue are probably going to count under green, considering they came under the green filter. So mint green, aqua, turquoise. I don't know if I use any turquoise, but I think it'd come under. You see I've got mint green there. I'm hoping. That's the thing with these channels, they're just so open to interpretation. So yeah, I also wasn't best pleased at finding that this bright mint green was the only sink available for the kitchen. So, and then none of the surfaces actually were that vividly mint. So I decided to do a kind of 3-tone kitchen, mint, grungy green and white. And see here, I was just trying to figure out how I was going to do the layout for the kitchen. Just where everything was going to go. Because again, it's thrown me completely off only having one colour. So you see, I couldn't put a fire alarm in. And by the same token, I actually couldn't put a thermostat in the house if you had seasons installed. So you just got to pray that in the winter and the summer that your Sims don't freeze or boil to death respectively. You see I was mucking around with that chopping board. I wanted to put a chopping board in, a little bit of minor detail, but couldn't figure out how to put it. Then I'm fiddling around with the windows, trying to find what works from the exterior, what works from the interior. Took me a bit. I mean, it's quite nice now that we can freely move windows. As much to my disgust that I realised that the only blind that fits these 3 windows that come in green is from my first pet, which I would have uninstalled if I knew how. Because I swear you can disable it in Origin, but I haven't figured out how yet. So I just ended up going, forget it. Kitchen's not going to have blinds. And then I've gone back to doing the many item trick to enable free movement of items, provided you've got move objects, the move object sheet on. So yeah, you see that's the general kind of style I end up going for with the kitchen. And now it's just adding the finished touches, like trying to figure out where cabinets will go. Because another thing I've done different is I've always used small wall heights. I've never really used anything other than small wall heights. And I've done a mix of small and medium walls in this build. So I've just been, you can see here I'm playing around at the minute with cabinets, trying to figure out how to make cabinets fit a medium wall height and still fit with the style of the kitchen. To be honest, the kitchen was one of the areas I was never quite 100% happy with because I just couldn't figure it out. But hey, so here, so it's like, what am I going to do for colours? Again, Parenthood came in useful. And then I'm just looking at the rest of the space like, how on earth do I lay out this downstairs? I was playing around with walls for a bit, which I've cut out all worse of it, so I've only put that one wall in, but this is playing around with walls like, how do I segregate this with half walls, or do I split it into many rooms, or what? I decided to put next to the bathroom this walk-in cupboard. I've nicknamed them in my head the woohoo cabinets because you can actually woohoo in them. As a kind of, closet in a hallway where you can like hang your coats and whatnot. I wanted to put some fairy lights over the top of it, like at the back to make it less dim. but I realised the only ones the ones I was thinking of, they again I believe came with Parenthood, don't have a green swatch. They've only got a white swatch, I believe. So then I was just kind of at a bit of a loss as to what to do with all this dead space above this cabinet, because it didn't look quite right that the cabinet wasn't ceiling height, because at least in my experience most hallway cupboards, unless of course it's a cupboard under the stairs, which is obviously a bit different, have been near enough floor to ceiling. So in the end I decided to play around with some random statues and clutter that I could find in decorations and make it almost a temporary storage of, oh, I've got this thing, I might want to use it at some point, chucks it on top of the cupboard and forget about it. So you can see I've got these 2 statues that I've never used before in any of my builds. An old vase, and will have, yeah, I can see I'm just looking at different things, because I still haven't got all the packs. And then this camping supply box, because I don't know about you guys, but we've got a lot of random stuff in the cupboard under stairs. Sports supplies we can't use at the moment because of lockdown, shoe polish, carrier bags to go shopping, it's, oh, Wellington boots, because it rains a lot but you still don't want them in your hallway. So yeah, and that's the other thing, I wanted to put like some old clothes on top of it, almost like bags for charity or laundry that was in the middle of being done. But once more I realised that they weren't majority, if they even had any green on them, it wasn't majority green, so I couldn't use it in the challenge. So a lot of my normal techniques, I guess, I'd say, stop working in this, which I suppose is probably the aim of the challenge. You know, pimp and name challenge can be difficult. So yeah, I've tried to change up the flooring to almost segregate the downstairs into, at the moment, 3 distinct rooms. Yeah, 3. And then I was like, hang on, why don't I just randomly put a bedroom here to stop there being this absolutely humongous hallway, like the kind of hallway that'd be in a mansion. Also, I suppose I could try and put a bit of a laundrette over here near the bathroom. So I was playing around a bit with how I was going to do that, because I've done a similar style laundrette in actually quite a few builds before I started recording, but it's always been 3 across, not 4. So, and also I've never been limited to one colour. So I decided to, so I was playing around a bit, trying to figure out how to get it to work. So I normally do this kind of hidden behind a sliding glass pane, which doesn't really work because it's not actually at all there. I use a combination of walls and mirrors, which you'll soon see, to create this illusion. You see here I'm trying out different mirrors, windows. Even you see here, it's like that. You could imagine almost being able to unfold into sliding doors. And then I had the great moment here of, I know there are laundry baskets, where is it? Because when I want them, I can never find them. But when I don't want them, I always find them. And then I didn't like this blank wall behind it, so I ended up stealing the green walls from upstairs in the study area, if you will, to, again, add a bit of decoration behind it. Because otherwise it just felt a bit weird having one side with the vines and the other side just completely empty. I mean, I wish I could have made the vines taller, but they only come in one size, at least that I found. That carpet, you can see I'm put in the bedroom, there's more green tones than blue tones in my opinion. I think there's like 2 blue tones as opposed to 3 green tones, which is why I thought I could get away with using it, because again it's got the blue-green overlap on it. But it's moments like these where it's like you've got to try and take the rules, which are quite arbitrary, into account and essentially create your own interpretation of them. And it doesn't help that I'm not brilliant myself at differentiating between blue and green once you start getting these blue-green overlaps. So the colour filter on just in the catalogue was an absolute godsend for this. I also really wanted to put a clock in like bedrooms and stuff, but I was severely struggling in this build to put a clock in a bedroom because there's only really one that I even remotely liked in green, then I could never find a place that actually fit. So I decided, we put a little mini desk in there. So I imagine this almost is more of a combination of between a guest bedroom and maybe a teenage bedroom, teenage young adult, like uni kind of thing. Actually, I suppose more young adult than teen, because generally if I'm doing a teen room, I'll put posters up on the wall. But again, I think there's only 2 or 3 that came under green that were actually majority green, so I couldn't have done that even if I wanted to. So by the same token, I haven't really done anything much in this entire building in the way of kids' bedrooms. And also that back wall just kept glitching out throughout the entire thing. You see that it went black again for no reason. I don't know what that glitch was, but it made things rather infuriating, trying to figure out what was going on and double checking colours and this, that and the other. It's like, and I can't see what it is again because everything's gone black. And then when I put in that green rug, I realised that it blocked off like quite a bit. It changed your brain's colour interpretation of the floor to blue. Which was quite interesting actually. I didn't expect that effect. And I feel like I probably should have tried to have used that more to my advantage elsewhere, but then I began to worry if it's made it more in violation of the challenge rules, and yeah. And so here I decided, okay, it's time to try and make a living room. So I figured I could have a bit of a half wall going and a bit of a TV sat on top of the coffee table, until I realised that the only TV is the Penguin TV. None of the other TVs you can see here, I was double checking, came in a green colour swatch, because sometimes the green or even whatever the colour may be that you're using, the colour filter, excludes items that really should be in it, but I don't know if they've also fixed some of the issues that have been found with that. And for some reason the Penguin TV also doesn't snap into place on anything, so I ended up just doing a combination of a fireplace and a TV and praying that it worked and the Sims could actually use it, because I haven't managed to play test this build yet. I can't see any glaring issues aside from maybe that Penguin TV. But yeah, I probably ought to have play tested it. But when I think the final build came to something like 80 grand, which is quite expensive to be honest. But yeah, and then I was seeing if you had seasons installed, if you'd be able to put a Christmas tree in there, and then realise, oh wait, there's no space for a Christmas tree. And then I was trying to create a plant, like to be decorating the living room, and had to combine a couple of items. And I wanted to do it equal either side, and then I realised that the big fern style plant I've got on the left hand side doesn't fit without glitching through the wall on the right hand side. Then I didn't want too many trees, so I've just mixed it up a bit. Maybe I could have fixed that, maybe I just keep it that way, I don't know. And then I was playing around with the toppings for the half wall, because I figured if everything's supposed to be green, I shouldn't keep it as the base colour swatch of brown. Then I just put in a little light to light up that corner, because adding in that half wall actually made it quite dim. And then decided to add in a couple of decorations on the walls so they weren't so bare, because I've done the predominantly green tapestry from Vampires. And then I think I've got another, almost panel style abstract painting. I think both of those came from Dine Out. And then I was faced with this, so I was like, I don't know how I'm going to lay it out, so I decided to wall off the weird L shape and turn it into a bedroom. And I've turned it into a double room. I quite often, like, in my own time, play with one of the lock traits, which, I can't think what the lock trait is off the top of my head, but it's the one that increases your chance of twins and triplets, so I quite often have twins in the family, so I decided to make almost a twin bedroom. But again, I suppose I could have split it into 2 smaller rooms, or whichever it may be, I wasn't sure. And I thought, hang on, I might as well make this porch overhang into almost a balcony. So I wanted to try and find a door that looked like almost like a balcony door, but yet again still fit in with the green demands, which interestingly made it quite difficult to do the plants on the balcony, because whilst terrain paint and mailboxes were exempt from the rules, plants weren't. And because the rules state that it's got to be the majority of the colour you were given, although like every single plant comes under the filter of green, because typically you've got like green leaves or green stems if it's like grass, that meant I had to individually go through like every single plant that I thought of using to see if it actually was able to be of use, which is what you see here, where I'm just piling a load of random plants out, like, I'll figure out what to do with you later. And then, yeah, that's the other thing. I thought about putting an insect box out, but then I remembered how much hassle they are to take care of at the moment. I don't know if that's intentional or not on EA's behalf, but I didn't feel it. I'll be honest, I didn't feel it. And then I wanted to put some outdoor seating, because if you've got a nice balcony like this, you're going to want to sit out there. And then came the whole trouble of trying to find an outdoor seats that I thought worked whilst matching the challenge rules. So I ended up going with this green bench and the mint green table. And I went back to the bedroom, turned it into a double room, and then I realised that the bed I'd used was more brown than green. So I had to go through and edit that. And yeah, these green vine freestanding fake wall things, I don't know what to call them, I'll be honest. I absolutely love them. They came with Eco Lysol, and I think it's one thing I've used continuously since its release. I absolutely love them. I honestly wish I had them in my own life, because I'd actually probably use those to decorate my actual bedroom. And then I thought maybe I'll do a different colour between the 2 beds. So I was playing around with that for a bit, trying to decide which 2 colours and where to extend it to. And then realised I actually needed some windows, so then once more came the whole challenge of what windows are predominantly green and suit the build. So if you actually look from the exterior, as you can see here, there's an absolute hodgepodge of different windows, which again goes towards the kind of unique design I was thinking of trying to go, but it was again a step away from the modernness, because I wanted to originally basically have more like the big clear 1-panel windows, but I couldn't find ones that fitted and were classed as green, with the exception of the ones in Spa Day. I think there was only really one type of window, so I struggled. Then I decided to pull some of these dresses and stuff from university, the kind of IKEA build your own style ones, a bit boring, a bit plain, and I didn't actually realise there was a mirror in that one until I was trying to get a camera angle to see what it was looking like, and spooked myself in all honesty. Then I wanted to put a couple of decor in, and then realised that, yeah, from what I could tell, where I think it's a snake plant, is in front of the mirror, there doesn't actually seem to be a snap point, or at least there wasn't a snap point for anything I wanted to put in there that came under green. So yeah, and I ended up doing the whole stereotypical, when you're building it says, add decorations, let's add plants, which again, surprisingly easy to do when, I suppose unsurprisingly quite easy to do when you're only allowed colour green. then I've just got, I think I only put a tissue box up there. Oh yeah, I decided to add a little bit more decor above this bed. So these decorations, like streamer type things and seasons. I was looking at the colour swatches and those and realised that this was the only one that A kind of went and B was mainly green. So I decided to add that. I'm still not 100% sure whether that's a good idea or not, but it's there now. And I wanted to, there's another thing you'll start to see, I'll add a couple of pipes here and there. Just for something different that's not the same 5 paintings and the same 6 plants or whatever the case may be. So just adding some industrial style pipes. And I think my thinking of where I put those ones was that they would link to a water system outside, and then obviously that didn't quite pan out, but hey ho. And I was looking at I've done a fair few diagonal bathrooms, and that was what my idea was there, with those weird diagonal walls, and I realised I just couldn't get it to work. That toilet there is one I'm on about, where it's just such a vastly different shade of green to everything else in the bathroom. I just could not get it to work, but I didn't want to put, because this is going to be the master bedroom, I didn't want to put in the master bedroom the uncomfortable toilet that I had downstairs. And then I saw that other toilet I think we briefly saw there, that was a much more expensive one. And again, I changed out that sink because when I had a second look at it, I realised that it was predominantly white, not green, so it broke the challenge rules. And now I had a rough idea of the layout, what the master bedroom's going to be. I was able to try and figure out what I was going to do with this balcony. So I play around with the plants quite a bit actually. I wasn't sure what I was doing. I just knew I wanted a lot of green. And unfortunately, most of the plant options that are in the Sims that have flowers end up being predominantly the flowers colour and not green. So I was really struggling, so I wanted to put something else in. You can see that flower box there on the wall is actually one of the few that's got a load of different colours but still just about predominantly green. So yeah, I was playing around quite a bit with different options, trying to see what I could do, what I can mix and match. I found these awnings that are completely overgrown with ivy and decided they do to go over the top of the doors. Goodness knows, I really wish half the time there was an awning over the back door at my own house here in England. And then yeah, just playing around. You can see here was my thoughts of, oh yes, I need a seat. Where am I actually going to put the seat? This is where I'm trying to figure out what the view would look like if you actually sat in the seat. That's something else I do. I don't put something necessarily where it looks good, but I also try, if I can, to take into account what it would look like if you were actually there. See here, I was playing around with this. I think this is an azalea bush, azalea wall plant from Jungle Adventure, because I decided I want to actually have some kind of bush running through that fence. Like I could have used the bush fence, but it wasn't quite what I was looking for. And that azalea was the first one that came to mind, but I had to take it away for 2 reasons. One, it didn't work, and also it was purple, and purple's not green. So then I found this bush that was briefly spotted with white flowers, where you can see it's predominantly green, only for it to not quite fit along the fencing, and I couldn't find something at the end to even it out. So I ended up giving up on the fence very briefly now to fill in the gap above those hedges, because I loved how this hedge thing was going to go, only to realise that that's the tallest of those hedges there are. And I needed to put something above it because otherwise it just looked weird. So I decided to try and raise one of the hedges, and then realised that the box it's growing out at the bottom shows, and it doesn't work. It just didn't work. So then I tried various forms of ivy before finally settling on this one, which is actually just a recolour of the other ivy trellis that's above the what's it called, the bench. And then I realised I forgot a window in this bedroom, so I had to go put a window in, and then decided to put that flower box that I was so fond of and couldn't figure out how to use on the balcony below the window. And then I thought I'll equalise the windows, only to realise that window's got one panel in the wall in the bathroom, 2 panels in the actual master bedroom. So then I was just playing around with the different windows of the same style to try and get it to work, but then it didn't look right from the exterior. So I ended up giving up and just putting a weird, awkward window layout in that room. As I really was, to be honest, I didn't want to try and reorganise that entire room just to fit the window. And then I suddenly realised I'd forgotten to put in this room a bedside table for the second bed, so I found the other one that matches the other 2 set, that matches the wardrobe and the chest of drawers already in that, near that bed in that bedroom, the IKEA style. And then I finally actually managed to find where to put a clock, which made me really happy, because the idea of not having at least one clock in the house that's not part of, say, the oven or the microwave is, I couldn't do it, I'll be honest. So then there's something else I found. There's a really pale green in the pastels. It's almost white, but it's definitely green, which I found was quite useful for trying to create some more neutral tones. And then which I actually in the end gave up on trying to do, in terms of like creating neutral tones. I was like, if you're going to go green, I might as well go all out green. So I found this, I'm not actually sure what pack that Vintage Dreckens is from. It might be from the Vintage Stuff pack. And I put in that chair. You can see, well, I didn't realise the moment that I put in that chair, although I do fix it later. So that chair's actually predominantly brown, not green, so I had to go back and change which chair that was, which wasn't my idea, but it's challenge rules. And then I was trying to find some like kind of posh paintings that were predominantly green, and I think I went a bit arbitrary with the rules on that one. I think it's actually really dubious as to whether or not they are predominantly green. Much the same way this dress is peacock. It's like kind of like a peacock green, which is another one of the ones where it's like, is it green, is it blue? But it works, so I'm hoping none of you want to crucify me. And then I wanted to put this tree in the room, and then I don't know why I wanted to, but I wanted to put a tree in the room and realised the tree didn't fit in the room. So that got relegated temporarily, got relegated to the hallway. And then I was just looking at this hallway like, what do I do? It's absolutely huge. So I decided to put some skill stuff in there. So I've got a little keyboard, I've got a chess table. Well, I'm amazed to find a green chess table. And I thought, oh, why not put a bar outside? And then as you see, I was playing around with the chairs, trying to find ones that were predominantly green. You can see that's when I realised that the chair in the master bedroom was not predominantly green, and I had to rectify that. And that's actually a bonsai bush just behind the chess table to improve gardening skill. I probably should have done this in a bigger lot, but what's done is done. I thought, oh, why not just put another settee in the hallway? Because if you've got a nice big hallway, you might as well have somewhere to relax. I could imagine if you actually had kids, like them running up and down this hallway on Friday. I feel like I should have put, looking back, a runner down the middle of it, but I'm not sure if there are any runner rugs that were green enough. And I thought, well, considering I'm going with this weird hybrid of eco-ness with the green roofs and whatnot, I might as well put some solar panels on the roof, because I didn't realise it's apparently you can get green solar panels. I know I've put some monkey bars out the back, but I don't have any official children's rooms. But I wanted something to decorate the garden to make it seem like you could edit it to be children friendly. You see here I'm using terrain paint. Obviously it's not green, but you are allowed to use terrain paint of any colour, which was honestly quite a relief to see something other than green. So it was quite easy to put trees in, because trees are predominantly green, especially as there's not many blossoming trees in the game. And I wanted to put the wishing well in, but I realised that the wishing well wasn't predominantly green. I wanted to do a fountain, but I found before, if you downsize a fountain, the water comes out of the wrong places, because much like windows and mirrors, it doesn't, the bit you see doesn't downsize with it, which is really annoying. So I gave up on the fountain idea. Gave up with the traditional fountain. I found a smaller one, I suppose I should say. Neatened up some of the terrain paint where I'd not quite gotten it fully under the building. And then decided to just put this green trellis along the wall, so it wasn't just one blank green wall, at least of some other colour on it, even if it's just mint green and yellow. And I had the space out the back that I thought, I'll try and put a an outdoor table and chairs in. So you can see there I've managed to find a green umbrella table, and then I spent some time trying to figure out what I was going to do in terms of chairs. Thought, that chair's great, and then realised it was predominantly white. So yes, I had a bit of a fun time. Chairs actually I think were my biggest issue. You could work around decorations and flooring and stuff, but chairs, normally the colour is I can't say, it's like the accent colour, not the main colour. And I thought, I might put like a footpath down round, and then realise I'm not really that great at terrain paint. So I gave up on that idea. And then decided to put a patio area out the front here. So a footpath up to the front door with this patio underneath the, what's it called, the porch, the roof, because honestly if you try to put grass there, the grass would just die from lack of sun. Then yeah, that's it. So I've dropped into live mode here. This is the inside. You see you've got that little laundrette, you've got the clutter, we've got the bathroom, you can see the medicine cabinet there. The window's too high to actually really get a look in. And you can see you're coming into the kitchen, dining room, quite open plan. Again, very green. Like, honestly, I don't think I've ever been more grateful for a Penguin TV, even though it doesn't really fit anywhere. I've never had to use it before. You've got this kind of guest room, study room. I'm not quite sure what it is. You see the tree just through the leaves poking through the back wall there. I have fixed before uploading it onto the gallery. Going upstairs, we've got the twins' bedroom, as I dubbed it. Only one set of blinds though. And then we've got the patio area with its view out. And then the master bedroom, where I still find it weird when you're wandering around in Live Mode. I fixed that tree glitching through the wall. I didn't realise until I was already halfway through recording the live mode, so yeah. And then this is the study, which is absolutely tiny. So moving quite fast. I've gone out the back wall to show you the garden. It's, yeah, nothing special, but at least there is one. So yeah, that's the build. That was my gallery. Yeah, we're using Ace Marvius on it. I really need to get round to updating the gallery to match my YouTube name. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you all soon with the next part of Marlia's story.